Alright, this is going to be part 3, but this time you can see the whole drawing of Dan Sobel. Last time you only see a little bit closer to Dan Sobel. So yeah, this is what my drawing of Dan Sobel looked like right now. The whole thing. Well, nowadays I still have a picture of Dan Sobel right here. If you want, see, I still have it right here, see. Right now I did add don't like, since I don't like him anymore. I used to like him. This is what I used to like. This one, for my happy face, this will be, I liked when he likes Blue's Clues stuff, and his kids shows and stuff, and nursery rhyme videos, taste test videos and stuff like that. For the angry part, for a mad part face, this is what I hate about Dan Sobel, when he's changed pajamas, screaming, and for me, I just had no opinion on Dan Sobel. So yeah, for me it's just a sad thing. For me, not liking Dan Sobel is kind of a sad thing. I'm not angry about Dan Sobel. I'm only sad about Dan Sobel. For me hating it. Because I was not very angry at Dan Sobel. I'm only being upset. I don't like, in case you didn't know this, I just don't like what Dan Sobel does. I just don't like what Dan Sobel did, what he had done. If I did like Dan Sobel. I don't like what Dan Sobel did. And I wouldn't believe in Dan Sobel anyways. Because I do understand about Dan Sobel's changing his pajamas. Well, that would have been a mistake, you guys, because he didn't know that he did something wrong. And he didn't, and back in September 2022, originally, he was just making, he cut ties to some users that he made fun of Dan Sobel originally. I know Greg Kevin UTTP made a lot of fun of Dan Sobel, that's why we hate him now, but until I remember Brandon Pippin used to like Dan Sobel a long time ago until he screamed at Devin Osborne. That's why Anthony Craig, Brandon Pippin just made videos out of Dan Sobel and hates him for good. And they just archived that video of Dan Sobel screaming at Vinny the social media guy, Devin Osborne, Koza Crest Hespin, whatever that is. So yeah. That's why they hate Dan Sobel so much. Except Andrew Broussard, me, Jordan. And Jordan cut ties Dan Sobel since January 2025. And I cut ties him really recently since April 7th of 2025. And Nate the Game Media 2006 cut ties Dan Sobel since August of 2025. No, 2024. Not this year. It wasn't this year he cut ties. He cut ties... my best friend Nate the Game Media 2006 cut ties Dan Sobel. Is he since August of 2024, since I told him that, or maybe July, I think like July or beginning of August, I don't know. But I cut ties him since August. Originally. But then I cut ties him, since I started liking him again since August, and then I liked him again since August through, since December through April 7th of 2025. December 2024 until I cut ties him since April. Since April 7th, right after April Fool's Day. I cut ties him after. I did cut ties him after. I cut ties him after he closed his YouTube channel. it's a good thing I hate him after he closes his account. So I did make a video about you're gonna be happy for this. And I'm glad he was proud of me, and he was so proud of me, and I'm really glad. And some YouTubers, I now like you again. And thank goodness nowadays Ryan Sylvia like me again, mostly because I cut-ticed Amanda Cartwright and some other YouTubers I didn't really want, but I had no choice, which is Anthony Shavot, Kellen Anderson. Yeah, sadly I had no opinion on Kellen. If you guys like her a lot, I can handle your opinion, but only, I don't know why they cut-ticed Kellen, because I would love her so much, but only because she likes to do her VHS tapes. So yeah, I do know that Amanda Carter loves Dan Sobel. She supports Dan Sobel. I would, if I still like Amanda Carter, I would handle her opinion on Dan Sobel. I could still handle her opinion on Dan Sobel, but since I hate her, she has no position. She has no rights to like him. So yeah, if I were Amanda Carter hater, she should not like Dan Sobel at all. I can handle other people's opinion except Amanda Cartwright. So because I should bash Amanda Cartwright's opinion. That means I will have to bash. That means I will bash. I will bash Amanda Cartwright's opinion on Dan Sobel. So and forcing her to stop recording the ARC program. If Amanda Cartwright doesn't want to close her YouTube channel, I should just force her to delete her videos and start all over again. And do something better than what he had done. Well, he does do better things. I'm not talking about Amanda, I'm talking about Dan Sobel. So yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I would like is Dan Sobel. The reason why I would like Dan Sobel is because Dan Sobel likes Blue's Clues letter segments, taste test videos, and all kinds of stuff he likes. And kid shows, taste test videos, food reviews, what else he likes. Oh yeah, I remember what's the fun part I love about that part on Dan Sobel. What's inspired by me. He does his homemade Ubi logos. He did, but it wasn't the best. But I don't mind but it's a good thing I still have his homemade Ubi logo, or when he did this is Ubi logo thing, and when he did on his live stream. Well, he used to have that one, but not anymore. I remember I live streamed Dan Sobel one time since August 2023. I think right before I come back to school during my second year after I'm done as senior, since I come back to high school with Sparks for the second time. So yeah. So yeah, I remember I would hang out with Dan Sobel in his live stream one time. I remember me, Nate the Game Media 2006, Jordan Bowens, Diego Hernandez Romero, and a lot of YouTubers used to like Dan Sobel, but not anymore. They regret being friends. And I still like Dan Sobel after I found out he's screaming, but I didn't hate him. But I do feel bad to him back in 2022. But I know Andrew Broussard hated Dan Sobel for the first time since 2023, like January 2023. Until he hates Dan Sobel since recently. And then Andrew Broussard liking him again until recently he hates him again. This time for good. Nowadays there are a lot of haters on Dan Sobel out there. They wonder why they hate Dan Sobel, because here's the thing. Here's the worst thing about Dan Sobel. The best part about Dan Sobel is he likes to do his Blue's Clues stuff, children's shows. Here's the best thing in my opinion on Dan Sobel is he likes Blue's Clues stuff. And the worst stuff about Dan Sobel I don't like is he was screaming at Devin Osborne. I'm afraid he does do a lot of grounding threats and shove people middle finger out the private parts. And they give people middle finger up their private parts. Yeah. Yeah, that's why he give middle finger up their private parts. And they give people middle finger, and they say a lot of cuss words. But he should have no rights to say, I'm fine. I don't care if he has the rights to swear, in my opinion. But I don't like he said the N-word. He has no rights to say the N-word. I think he said the N-word a few times. I think back in 2021, he just said the N-word, just like Eric Payton did. So yeah. Yeah, for some reason I'm afraid the N-word is the worst. I don't want to tell you what it means. It's a swear word of the N-word, not any N-words, just like the word noggin or my nose. And I will not tell you. I'm not going to tell you any hints what it means. If you don't know what the N-word I'm talking about, just I won't tell you what it is. But I might usually remember the F word, the B word, the H word. I know the word hell is kind of a swear word, but I guess I think I'll stick with the H word than some other bad stuff. So yeah, because the H word, opposite of heaven, is kind of a swear word. Maybe it's kind of a swear word, but yeah. I don't really usually do swearing, which that's good. I know Nathan Game Media 2006 does swearing, but I know Jordan Bowens and Dave Martin, they used to do swear words, but not anymore. I know Jordan Bowens hates Dan Sobel since recently. Mostly, I think because he was afraid he didn't want to get in trouble. I'm afraid he did some wrongdoings. A good thing he did one of his wrongdoings, and also I did do some of my wrongdoings as well. And yes, I will maybe tell you what I've done in the past. So, guys, if you're watching this, for the Dan Sobel haters out there, if you're watching this, I'm very, very sorry for me liking Dan Sobel. Well, I'll tell you the reason why I like Dan Sobel. For Brandon Pippin, if you're watching this, I only like Dan for the reason, mostly because he did the letter segments. I don't know. I know you probably might not care. You probably don't care about the fun stuff. I guess the only thing you hate about Dan Sobel, I'm afraid a lot of Dan Sobels don't care about his taste test videos. They probably make fun of Dan Sobel nowadays. And I just realized that Dan Sobel made his wrongdoings, and I do appreciate that. But for some reason, sadly, he just come back doing one of his bad things. Oh yeah, just like Andy Host told me, and he also did another wrongdoings. What he had done, he tried to be doing some innocent stuff. Dan Sobel would have been innocent. He would have been a very good person. He would have been a best YouTuber. But sadly, in my opinion, other YouTubers didn't want to give him another chance at all. That's why he was upset and doing some other bad things, and yeah. And he made unhappy birthdays to YouTubers. You know they're getting pointless, Dan Sobel. Like, come on, Dan. And also, after he came back to YouTube, after he'd been grounded for 2 or 3 weeks, he just decided that Dan Sobel Why I had learned. And I would appreciate Dan Sobel, but I would accept his apology, but since I hate him, I didn't know what to say, but if I were a Dan Sobel hater still, I would have denied his apology. But if I still like Dan Sobel, after I found out, I would have just loved to give him another chance, but I cannot give Dan another chance at all. The only thing I would give Dan a chance because he likes to do some fun things. So yeah, I wouldn't believe in Dan Sobel. I do believe him. I believed him when he just learned. But I remember recently when I did something wrong. He made a message for Nate and archived that. So yeah. I know nowadays making commentary videos are getting pointless nowadays. Yeah, I'm afraid his videos on his channel are pointless. So I guess he just decided, well guys, in case you're wondering, he didn't close his YouTube channel. Jordan, and they thought they closed his account, but he didn't really close his YouTube channel. Nate the Game You 2006 notice, already know. He just does not have his videos. Right now it's on. Well, right now it says on hiatus. As of right now, Right now it says on hiatus until 2027. It says. And I'm afraid he might come back to YouTube. He'll be gone for 2 years. Yeah, he's going to be gone on YouTube until 2027. Because I hope he'll learn his lesson. I would love if he learned his lesson. But I would love to accept his apology. Because he didn't want to be a bad YouTuber anyways. He wasn't going to be. Because I would never call him a man. I would not call him a man-child until I'm a hater. Until I become a hater. And yes, I will have to call him a man-child, or a pedophile, or call him bad names. You know, for me, hating Dan Sobel would have been a lot of fun if I were a Dan Sobel hater, big time, or especially if I hate everything. But I don't just hate him for everything. I only hate him when he did his bad stuff. For Ryan Sylvan, Brandon Pippin, Andy Ho, he hates him for everything. But I don't just hate him for everything. I just don't just hate him, you guys. The only thing I only just don't like Dan Sobel big time. The only thing I don't just hate him, I just don't like him. I only hate him if he did something wrong. And I only like him if he did some Blue's Clues stuff. So I take, for me, I take this as a middle. For me, I hate him big time. I hate him for his bad stuff. And for me, for a thumbs up for Dan Sobel is his Blue's Clues stuff. Blue's Clues letter segments. And I appreciate that he made a letter for me. But I do love when Dan Sobel did his Ubi logo. I wouldn't care about Dan Sobel. I like to do the same thing like Jennifer Manning does, but for all of the Dan Sobel fans, I would have been a fan of Dan Sobel. I don't usually watch a lot of his dance videos. I haven't watched all of his videos because they're getting too much on me. or including his all the Blue's Clues letter segment, or someone else I'm not sure. But I already know Steve the YouTuber made a letter segment from Dan Sobel. I know Jordan Bowen made a letter segment for Dan Sobel once, but he only did it once. Jordan Bowen did not make a letter segment for me at all, so I will have to ask Jordan to make a letter for me. So Jordan, if you're watching this, I was wondering if you could make a letter segment for me, if you're watching this. But I know Nate the Game Me in 2006 did make a letter segment for me. I know when I come back making letter segment for me. I remember after my old account get terminated, he did make a shout out to me after I found out when so he doesn't make any letter segments for me anymore. Last time he made a letter segment for me, I think it would have been like a video game or show me his Christmas VHS tapes. That's the last letter segment when he showed me his VHS collecting. And the first time Dan Sobel made a letter for me for the first time, that was my very first Blue's Clues letter segment episode ever made, when he showed his DVD collection and he told me, said, "Hi Anthony, it's me, Dan, and I like to show you my DVD collection. Here they are." I remember I said that same thing like I saw in this drawing right here. And yes, I did make that. I did do a video on. I did upload a video of a picture of Dan Sobel itself. That's the same video that Homer Simpson made a cringe video of me of this Dan Sobel drawing. If you don't like this drawing of Dan Sobel, I can hear your opinion. I only like the drawing. I do like his voice. I do like his face review. I like his color. I like his face review. I like how he looks. I don't mind how he looks. I don't care if he's very fat, because I know he is kind of fat. This is how he looks like. And this is what he looked like when he's all grown up. And yes, he is a grown man, because his birthday is January 31st, 1999. He's 26 years old. And that's what Dan Sobel looked like. He has either black or brown hair and brown eyes. My color eyes mine's kind of a little brownish or blondish hair, and mine's blue eyes. So yeah. And yes, and his favorite color is purple. I'm glad his favorite color isn't pink. Because if I were a girl, my favorite color would be pink. And when I drew a picture of Dan Sobel, well, the only thing I show you a picture of Dan Sobel is just the drawing. I didn't show you it in person. Just the drawing. Just like an animated version of Dan Sobel. Yeah, and please don't make fun of about this drawing. I hope you won't mind the drawing. Just because I drew a picture doesn't mean you're gonna think, and I'm really good at drawing. I'm really a good artist, actually. I even draw my made-up character, Silly Girl. Well, Silly Girl doesn't. I did show Dan Sobel made a layer of this made-up character. Here's Silly Girl and Dan Sobel. Here's Dan Sobel and here's Silly Girl. Yeah, I love my made-up character, Silly Girl. I love when girls love pink. When he made a cringe video of me with Silly Girls with showing Amanda Cartwright. So yeah. Nowadays I should not like Amanda Cartwright anymore. So yeah. I remember I made a letter saying for Dan Sobel. Of his Blue's Clues VHS tapes. And making letters for Dan is a lot of fun. I remember it's so fun. Dan Sobel is entertainment on me, but only if he did some fun stuff, not when he had done. His bad videos stuff nowadays, when he made you know what, or opinion change videos, he has no position on hate Eric Payton. And he has no position on hating Coco Melon, I don't know, I would have just liked Coco Melon, but yeah. Here we go. So yeah, a YouTuber I would have liked is Dan Sobel, only because the only thing I liked about Dan Sobel is he likes to do his fun stuff. And I have to apologize for everyone for me liking Dan Sobel. And guys, for all the Dan Sobel haters who won't handle my opinion on Dan Sobel, or any other Dan Sobel haters out there, if you're watching this, I'm very, very sorry for me supporting Dan Sobel. This is all actually my fault, you guys. I'm very sorry for me liking Dan Sobel. Well, actually, I did like him for a reason. The reason why I like Dan Sobel is because of his Blue's Clues stuff, or his letter segments and stuff like that. I will have to do the same thing for me, not like Dan Sobel, like SKNY 1996. I hate, I know, yes, I know Dan is going to be gone. I'm glad Dan Sobel. I hate it when it does that. I had to do the same thing as SKNY 1996. I wasn't really enjoying myself hating it. I just really have no choice for hating it, guys. I just don't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get in trouble. The reasons why I hate Dan Sobel or cut-ties him is because I didn't want to get in trouble. Because Ryan Sylvia, Brendan Pippin, a lot of YouTubers, some of the YouTubers doesn't care about me anymore. I wish they'll care about me. I wish Brendan Pippin, Ryan Goodwin, Andy Ho, and some YouTubers cared about me. Even though he already knows that I cut-ties him, but sadly, for some reason, they still don't like me, so they put up no position terms. And I don't understand what no position means, since I cut-ties him recently. And after I cut-ties, I just made a message video. Maybe I might not. I still have it on video, but it's unlisted. But I might not make. I just put it unlisted because I thought. He said, I have no position on Dan Sobel. I'm afraid they don't care about me. I'm afraid Brendan Pippin, Andy Ho, Ryan Goodwin doesn't really care about me anymore. I would have got haters for that. I can't stand one of my haters. No, I'm not. Besides the Dan Sobel haters, nowadays they got all the Dan Sobel haters. Nowadays I would have got his haters since. Nowadays I'm a Dan Sobel haters. And Dan Sobel, you would have got a lot of haters what you have done. Because Donovan Patton had a right to make grounded videos out of you, Dan. And please don't think about hitting to hurt Donovan Patton. If you saw him in person, I'm afraid you might get punch him. Yeah, I think Bella, I can't remember her name, but it's actually Bella loves Donovan Patton because she's a huge fan of Donovan Patton. And sadly, she likes swearing too. She does I'm afraid her autism for her Bella. She is a huge Blue's Clues fan, but she hates Dan Sobel and Amanda Cartwright. I guess she hates him mostly as Amanda than Dan Sobel. I got a bad feeling that Amanda Cartwright is a lot worse than Dan Sobel. I'm afraid that Dan Sobel is a lot worse than I'm afraid Amanda Cartwright and Dan Sobel are a lot worse than Eric Payton. Because I know, even though Eric Payton is old news, so yeah. And I think this will be my last video. So once again, that's the reasons why I would have liked Dan Sobel. I am not 100% sure, so I don't know what else I gotta say about it. If I don't remember, if I'm out of ideas, if there's any more, if there's anything else I'm missing, just let me know, okay? Because I know Dan Sobel did a lot of bad things in the past. Well, he doesn't always do bad stuff. The only thing he does bad stuff because he made bad videos out of him. Mostly because he is so drama and he has autism. And yes, Dan Sobel does have autism. So yeah. I did find out about watching that he had talked about I am autistic. So yeah. And I can't believe Dan Sobel talked about Trump that he hates. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for this video. Subscribe to my channel, everybody. Triple like on this video, and I'll see you guys next time on the next video. Peace out, everyone. Bye.